Anyway, so they go into this big, massive cavernous
thing.
Yeah. They don't know it's a ship at this point.
No, that is key. They don't know it's a ship.
They just think it's some kind of alien sacred monument.
Yeah.
So they all go in with the teams and they find all these, which I thought when I first saw it were eggs from Alien, but it turns out they weren't. But these kind of urns, all kind of decked out. There's this big stone head, which you might have seen on some of the posters.
Oh no! Wait! There's that. Oh, I can't believe. Skipped over it. There's the bit where this Fifield character sort of takes out these balls.
Oh, this is when they explore the cave a bit more, though, isn't it?
Yeah. No, this is when they enter. They sort of map out the area.
Remember this for later, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says, "These are my pups," and then throws them in the air and does does a howls like a wolf. Oh, he does that. It's one of the. It's just. It really made me want to just sort of say to Scott, no. Whatever you do, no. This is not. This guy, I am even now believe him as a scientist less than I did before.
You just want the aliens to kill them. That's the point. It's just the characters are so bad. You want to see them just.
Yeah. So back in the cabin.
Yeah, they find these kind of alien urns, and this big stone head, which I'm assuming is a head of one of the engineers. The big hulking white muscly alien dudes.
See, I don't know. Like unless he was important. That head.
Yeah, unless it was that guy from the start of the film who drank the alien death liquid, and gave birth to life, maybe.
Maybe I don't know.
These are yet more questions that are never answered. You know, Lost writers for you.
Yeah.
I like Lost, but.
Yeah, that had a lot of questions to answer at the end, and I think that so basically, David walks around and he's told not to touch things, but...
Yeah, good luck with that. He's curious because he's an android, he doesn't get disease, you know, it's just... No. Isn't this the point, by the way, when we're talking about character stupidity, don't touch anything, so everyone touches everything, where they just, take their helmets off?
Yeah.
They say, oh, well, the air's breathable, let's all take our helmets off, you know, but they don't care if there's any pathogens or, you know, death dust in the air, which there is, by the way.
Yeah. I can't believe I brushed over that. The same Fifield character finds the dead body before they enter the room, and he has a fit. He literally has a fit and says, "I'm going back to the ship."
And that other guy who hangs out with him, the one who wears the glasses.
Yeah.
He tags along with him.
This Fifield character, he has a fit at numero pace, saying, "I'm just a geologist. I know you don't give a shit about rocks. You can fondle your dead body if you want. I'm going home." Why would you ever? What sort of You're a scientist. Even if you're not interested in this sort of thing, it's a scientific discovery, and you should be pleased about being a part of a discovery. It just isn't believable. Him as a character just isn't believable.
Just going back to the big room with all the urns and the head. This is why I thought it was on the same planet as the same place as Alien was. Because I swear to God, there's this big kind of carved circular doorway, and in the middle are they called Xenomorphs, the main aliens from Alien? I swear there's a sculpted Xenomorph in the middle of this kind of carved doorway, almost like a kind of deity, and I was like, oh, that's cool, so the Xenomorphs must have been feared and revered on this, but no, they haven't even been born yet. They haven't even been created.
Yeah, that bugged me as well, because
I swear it was there. I'm not imagining it. I swear it was like...
Yeah, it was. It was an alien.
Yeah.
But you learn at the very, like...
Oh, yeah.
There's that end scene which sort of contradicts that entire painting, or that entire mural.
Yeah. Unless it's kind of like a future kind of, carving, like this predicts... But again, it's never explained.
No. But also, and this isn't explained as well. They enter, they touch stuff, and they change the atmosphere. They sort of change everything, and everything starts to crumble, and the liquid starts to pour out of the...
This alien death oil starts oozing out of these jars, and they're like, that's normal.
But surely that would be... surely these engineers would have taken the time out to properly secure, no matter if they entered or exit or went out of the room, that these vials of this black oil were properly contained and like airtight sealed inside these containers.
They were just in a cave. There's there's going to be changes in the air, surely.
Yeah, they're just lying around, sort of, and I don't. That's not explained.
Yeah. Anyway, the team progress into the cave and they're looking around, and then they do what you said, where he throws them kind of sonic ball things up in the air, which kind of scope and map all the tunnels.
Yeah.
And the map gets fed back to Idris Elba on the Prometheus, and he's kind of looking at this hologram as it's getting kind of mapped out.
Yeah.
So they're walking through, and then they find a dead body of. Well, at first you don't know it's a engineer. It's just kind of like a kind of lobster-looking thing.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Aren't they? I've heard a lot of things about space jockeys. Wasn't from the original Alien? Wasn't one of those?
It was. That was an engineer. Yeah,
but we don't know that at this point. We just think that this is an alien race, that looks like a squid. Which I'm almost certain was probably his original intention when Alien came out.
Yeah.
Rather than it being a suit,
Yeah, it's a suit.
Yeah.
It's a mask.
Why the engineers wear this kind of other species face over theirs, never explained. Just go with it. No. It's a fashion statement.
Why it's on their head? I mean, it's told later on that these guys this oil oozed out and killed them all. So I can understand their need for protective helmets. But the helmet is their heads are like human heads. So this helmet is really would move about when they're running so much, unless it's securely fastened. And they also decapitated head.
Well, hang on, just before this is going into one area I really didn't like in this film, didn't get. It was used as a plot convenience. They kept seeing these holograms of these alien creatures just miraculously appear in the tunnels.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a group of them just running away. And it's where did that hologram come from? Why was that recorded? Why is it being played back now? But anyway, it just serves as a way to get the team to follow this hologram, where they find this dead body of an engineer has been decapitated as a blast door came down and freaking cut his head off.
Yeah.
And I think it's at this point that the Sex Pistols, punk rocker, scientist, geologist dude, and the one with the glasses find this dead body and just go, screw this, we are going.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind, they've already scoped the area. They have the map. They have the map of this cavern from these sonic balls, which is fed back to the ship, and they walk off.
Yeah.
But the team are really interested in this head. And they're we should take this back and, experiment on it and stuff.
Yeah. And even that's something, I don't know, they have the map. It's mapped out.
Yeah.
Or part of it is mapped out. Where they're going is mapped out.
No, all of it gets mapped out.
No, I think later on it's still getting mapped out because there's loads of levels to it.
Yeah.
But the whole section where they're in is fully mapped out. Yeah. These two idiots, even though they have a map, get lost. They get lost.
They don't think to call Idris Elba and like, I don't know where we are. You've got the map. Can you tell us how far away we are from the entrance? Bearing in mind, they didn't venture that far into the cave. They just went into this main place with the urns and then through a tunnel. Yeah. It's not hard to just go back through the tunnel and... yeah. But they get lost.
They get lost. And then there's a plot convenience where they have to all escape. So basically, they try and grab this head.
There's a storm. There's a storm coming, like a desert storm.
There's a storm. Yeah.
So like, we're going to get out of here quick. So they grab the head and run out of the cave.
And David takes one of the urns as well, and they all run out, and basically they all get to the ship, and conveniently, Noomi Rapace drops this head. She drops it, and then she goes back out for it. And it's such a cliche movie trope.
Yeah. It's the equivalent of them just tripping. Just, in a horror film, as they're running away from someone. Well,
I think she does trip.
Yeah.
And she trips on nothing. She literally just falls over. She runs and trips and then she runs out and grabs this head, and her husband comes out and tries to save her, and there's a whole bit where they're stuck. But then David comes out, attaches a winch, pulls them in, and
they're safe now.
Safe.
Drama over. Action sequence over.
Yeah. Needless action sequence over.
Anyway, you cut back to these two douches in the cave. They're still lost.
They're still. And
they have the map and they're still lost.
I just have to say to them, don't worry, we'll pick you up in the morning.
Yeah, the storm's like just raging on. Just try and get some sleep in the cave. Just kind of ride the storm out,
Yeah.
First to find this big pile of dead bodies.
They do.
This big pile of engineers, like this huge, just mass of bodies. And they're just like, okay, we're scared. And then Idris Elba looks at the map, and he finds like a red blinking light on this like mapped out cave, and he's like, oh, hang on, there's a life form in there with you. And right at this point, you know that they haven't got much longer to live.
No.
It's like we need to resort to the the sci-fi horror aspect of it, and then it blinks off, and he's like, oh, hang on, never mind, it's gone now. Just try and get some sleep, sweet dreams. So these two people are just like freaked out. So yeah, and then they go back to the main room with the jars.